Good day, everybody. My name is Paul Rosso with Remax Properties, and welcome to the Bucks County Homes and Living Show. We have a great show for you this week, talking about antiquing in Bucks County. My guest today is Mike Ivankovich. Mike, thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me, Paul.
Sure. And our call line, if you have any questions for Mike or myself, is 856-359-4232. So, Mike, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, I live in Doylestown, Paul. I've been there for about 40 years.
Okay.
I've been an antiques dealer. I'm an auctioneer. I'm an appraiser. I'm a home downsizer, and I've spent the last 40 years helping people deal with their stuff.
Okay, terrific. So we're talking today about antiques in Bucks County. Can you tell us a little bit about what antiquing really is?
Antiquing is it's an optional hobby. It's some people love antiques, some people hate them. Most people are in between. But from my perspective, there's nothing I like better than hopping in the car, going out to a bunch of antique shops, not knowing what you're going to find,
Right.
not knowing what you're going to see, and not knowing what kind of bargains or value you're going to get.
I understand. My beautiful bride, she loves antiquing, and before we met, she used to do a lot of antiquing, and when we met, we started doing antiquing together, and so she loves it there. So why do you think Bucks County has been a big antiquing place?
Bucks County is absolutely gorgeous. If you like antiquing, this is the perfect time of the year to go. During the cold snap that we had, with the
Right.
weather was so cold, nobody went out. But now the grass is green, the leaves are out, perfect time to antique. Bucks County has the Delaware River. It's about an hour north of Philadelphia, about an hour and a half east of New York City, and that's a
Right.
destination resort. So when people travel, they want to do things they like, and that's generally eating, drinking, and shopping. And
Yeah.
antiques are one thing they shop for.
Definitely. So, when people are antiquing, what should they really be looking for? If someone's just starting out the antiquing, or somebody's been doing it for a while, what do you think they should really be looking for, when they're out there shopping?
Whatever they like. I mean, antiquing for some is an investment. For most, it's just a pastime. So I think people should collect what they want. My
Okay.
wife and I have collected Wallace Nutting hand-colored photographs for the last 30 years. There's a hardcore group of people who collect nutting. Most people have no idea what it is, but collect what you like, whether it's jewelry, art, prints, or whatever.
Yeah. Now, how would someone know, how much something is really worth? Is there any way for them to be able to judge that?
There's all different levels.
Okay.
I'm a dealer. I'm looking to buy at a price where I can resell it at a fair profit. So I'm looking to buy it at a wholesale price. Other people who are casual shoppers who have no interest in reselling are probably going to end up paying a retail price.
Okay.
So it all depends on where you're coming from and what your perspective is.
Mm-hmm. Now, when someone's shopping for antiques, is bargaining part of the process?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Once the price is laid out there, there's only one way the price is going, and that's down. No one ever offers a dealer more than they're asking. So
Sure.
dealers usually start high, knowing
Okay.
they're going to come down, but they're usually not ridiculously high. You
Okay.
expect a dealer to come down 10, 15, 20%,
Okay.
maybe a little bit more for cash.
Okay.
But
Cash is king.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if they have a price at $100 and you offer them 10, I've seen dealers literally take a plate and break it on the ground rather than accept a ridiculously embarrassing low offer.
Okay. And is there any ethics involved with the antique shops or owners? Is there anything the state requires them to uphold to, or any kind of organization that upholds them to certain standards?
Not really from the state. I mean, antique
Okay.
dealers have to be licensed by the state of Pennsylvania just like any other business.
Okay.
But crooks don't last long. The word gets around. People know when they're being taken advantage of or not.
Okay.
But, most dealers who've been around for a while, they're reputable.
Okay.
Most are.
Okay, terrific. And so let's talk about some areas for antiquing in Bucks County. Where are some great areas for people to go out there and look for some antiques? Let's talk about Bucks County, and then later on we'll start talking about some of the surrounding areas too, if we can.
Okay. I'm in Doylestown.
Okay.
Probably the best stretch of antiquing for years. It's not quite what it used to be, but it would be between Buckingham and New Hope on Route 202 with La Husker right in the middle.
Okay.
There used to be probably 50 to 75 shops on that road right there. Now there's maybe 25 or 30. So there's not as many as before, but that's a great stretch where you could just hop in the car and you can spend literally hours going from shop to shop, and while you're there you can stop at Peddler's Village and have some lunch or dinner and do some other kind of shopping as well.
Oh, that's terrific. Now, are these antique shops normally open 7 days a week, or a lot of them just open on the weekends? What's your experience been?
Most of them on 202 are going to be open all week because they've
Okay.
got such a, hefty mortgage that they have to satisfy every month.
Sure.
But a lot of antique shops are mom and pop. They're only open like usually on the weekends.
Okay. And can you give us some places maybe you recommend people take a look at, or?
Well, if I was going down Route 202, I'd probably stop at the Lahaska Antique Court. That's a group shop with probably 30 or 40 different dealers. There's display cases, there's furniture, good quality things, and surrounding that are several other shops. So you park the car once, and you
Okay.
can spend hours going through those shops.
And where's this at now?
It's the Lahaska Antique Court. It's right there on Route 202, right near the Midway Fire Company, and,
Okay.
and it's really part of Peddler's
Peddler's
Village.
Okay, terrific.
And then you just hop on the 202 and you continue heading towards New Hope. There's all different kinds of shops, all different kinds of merchandise.
Mhm.
And then you're going to get to New Hope. And there aren't a whole lot of antique shops left in New Hope.
Okay.
Sally Good is one of the antique shops right there in downtown New Hope. She's been there for a while. But if you just cross the Delaware River, head over into Lambertville, that's where most of the antique dealers have gravitated.
Okay.
You have the People's Store over there, which is 3 floors of antiques. You have Jim's Limited. There's probably a dozen different shops over there in Lambertville, all good quality shops.
Okay. So you talked about the 202 corridor between like Buckingham and New Hope. What about going further west, in Upper Bucks County?
Upper Bucks County is also a good place to shop. Probably the highlight of Upper Bucks County would be Quakertown.
Okay.
Just off of Route 309, there's the Quakertown Antiques Mall, or Quaker Antique Mall, I believe it's called. And right there on Route 313, as you're going through downtown Quakertown, there's a group of about 4, 5, or 6 shops. Some are open all week, some are only open a few days a week.
Okay.
But you could just park your car and you could just spend hours antiquing right there in Quakertown.
Okay. Terrific. And antique shows are popular in the area also. Can you talk about some of those big ones in the area?
Antique shows aren't as plentiful as they used to be.
Okay.
Probably the biggest show in Bucks County right now is the Bucks County Antique Dealers Association annual show. This year's show is going to be on November 8th and 9th. It's a 2-day show, and it'll be at the Eagle Fire Company right there just off of Route 202 in New Hope. And
Right, okay.
there'll be about 30, 35 dealers featuring all types of merchandise. It's probably the best show remaining in Bucks County right now.
Okay. And you mentioned about the Bucks County Antiques Dealer Association. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, they've been around for probably 50 years. I'm a member. My wife and I are members of that. They have a website called www.bcadapa, Bucks County Antique Dealers Association, Pennsylvania.com. My wife is the web designer, and she does a great job. And they list all of the different dealers. So if you're looking to sell quilts, you can go on that site and find Dana Balsamo from Princeton, who specializes in quilts. If you're looking to sell militaria, there's Scott Candela or Stan Smolin, who are both specialists in that area. It's a good way to reach people who are selling, and it's also a good way to find dealers who are selling as well.
Mm-hmm. Now, what about auction houses in the area? Do we have any auction houses?
You know what? Bucks County is not as known for its auction houses as other parts of the state.
Okay.
Probably the premier, certainly the oldest of Bucks County is Brown Brothers, right there at the intersection of 202 and 413 in Buckingham. They've been around for probably about 100 years. They have auctions every Saturday. Other than that, it's hit or miss. Whereas if you were to go out to Lancaster County and pick up a copy of Lancaster Farming newspaper, there are literally 20 to 30 pages of auctions every week. All
Okay.
different auctions. So Bucks County isn't quite as big into auctions, but probably my favorite auction house, not quite in Bucks County, but just over the border, Montgomery County, is Aldiver Auction Company. They're
Okay.
great. Their auctions are every Thursday. Multiple auctioneers selling at the same time, and their auctions are every Thursday.
On Thursdays. Okay. And what about flea markets? It's a big popular thing now. Can people get any antiques at flea markets that are local?
Well, I'll go through the Bucks County flea markets first, and then we'll
Okay.
talk about the others. Probably the oldest flea market in Bucks County is Rice's.
Right.
Rice's is every Tuesday. You're more likely to encounter plants, sweaters, belts, things like that at Rice's flea market, but there's usually a row of 5 or 10 people specializing in antiques and collectibles. That's every Tuesday. Every Sunday is the Country Host on Route 202, right next to the Country Host restaurant.
Okay.
That's not a big one, 10 or 12 dealers over there. Also on Sundays, there's a huge flea market behind the Trevos Fire Company on Street Road.
Okay.
Huge.
Trevos, yeah.
Usually there's a couple hundred dealers there, and that's on Sundays. There's a flea market every Saturday and Sunday up at the Q-Mart in Allentown, behind the Q-Mart. But my favorite of all time is Lambertville Flea Market, right over the bridge in Lambertville, New Jersey. It's on Route 29, a little bit south of Lambertville. They have flea markets on Wednesdays, Saturdays, but the big one is on Sunday. And I can't tell you how much merchandise I've pulled out of that place over the last 30 years. It's a great place to shop.
Yeah. Now, what about garage sales? Are they, can people get some antiques and those kind of things?
There are always people who find good things at garage sales. I think there are other people who find more than I do. I don't usually find a whole lot, but it doesn't stop me from trying. Usually Saturdays are the best day, like any place else for garage sales. Some people have them on Friday. In my area, you pick up the Doylestown Intelligencer, the Daily Intelligencer on a Thursday or Friday that will list all the garage sales. And a lot of times I'll just go to Craigslist and under garage sales and find out some area garage sales.
Okay. So if someone goes to a garage sale in the area or a flea market, what should they be looking for if they see something that may be an antique? How would they know whether or not it's really worth something or not?
I mean, you have to know what you're doing.
Okay.
But let's put it this way. People don't go to a garage sale looking for merchandise that's overpriced. They're not there looking for junk. They're not looking for merchandise that's damaged. They're looking for bargains. They're looking for things that the people don't know they've got.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking for that piece of sterling silver that the owner doesn't know is sterling. Worst case example I've ever heard. Family was having a garage sale a number of years ago in Bucks County. And Mom had passed away, and they were selling things to get the house ready for sale, and they ended up selling her diamond ring, her $10,000 diamond ring, for $10 because they thought it was costume jewelry. Big mistake.
So if you're going to have a garage sale or go to take your wares to a flea market, you should be checking into the value of certain things.
I teach a lot of classes on selling antiques and collectibles, and I tell people never sell before you know what it's worth. Garage sales have what are called early birds. Early birds are the one come knocking on your door several days before the garage sale, and they usually give you some kind of story like, I'm going into the hospital this Saturday, I can't make your sale. Would you please let me in and let me see what you have? They're just looking for the bargains before anybody else gets to them. Mm-hmm. If you go to the flea market, they have what are called the early birds. The early birds are the people who get there 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning waiting for that one car to come in that's got all the treasures where the people don't know what it's worth. So don't start selling anything unless you know what it's worth.
Okay. And so let's say someone goes out to an antique shop and they see something that they really like. How do they know, is there a way of judging like age or the quality of something, or whether or not something's of value other than what the antique shop owner says it is? Any tips as far as, how to go about, determining whether or not something's really worth it or not?
Well, if you're paying a retail price, that's okay. What you just don't want to pay is an inflated retail price.
Right.
And it's hard to say without experience. I was in a house just this morning, and they showed me a desk that they said was, the dealer told them it was 18th century, in the 1700s. I said, in my opinion, this is 20th century. So they were kind of dumbfounded, but I just didn't see the patina, the wear, the construction that would have suggested to me to be an 18th century piece. So you have to be careful, but again, crooks don't last in this business very long. So the longer someone's in business, probably the safer you are.
Yeah. So I assume that nowadays a lot of the antiquing is done online also. Are there, have some of the local antique shops set up online also?
Yeah, I think that's probably a good reason why there's so few antique shops today. I mean, put yourself in the position of being a dealer. If you had the choice of renting a facility where you have a hefty monthly mortgage and you have to work every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the very least, or pay someone to keep your shop open,
right,
pay the overhead, the lights, and all the other things, or if you can open up an eBay store or an online store and the shop works for yourself, that's where a lot of these dealers are going. It's easier to open up an online store for $14.95 a month or whatever eBay's charging, rather than having that bricks and mortar shop, which is so restrictive.
Okay, so these shops can, are they having their own websites? Are they joining going in with like a website that has a number of antique shops?
Probably the biggest, Paul, is eBay stores.
Okay.
Everybody knows what eBay auctions are. eBay stores, there's thousands of them, and you can just go into eBay and you key in whatever item you're looking for. Cut glass, Bessie P's Gutman, oak furniture, whatever you're looking for, you key it in, and you can find these kind of things for sale in somebody's shop.
Mm-hmm.
And unlike an auction where things are bid competitively upward, in a store you can make a counter offer. That's what they call best offer accepted, or make offer now. So you can negotiate online just the way you can in person at a bricks and mortar antique shop.
Mm-hmm. That's terrific. And we talked a little bit about Bucks County places and Lambertville as being another area. Are there any other surrounding areas that it could be like a day trip that has a lot of antiquing also?
Yeah, I mean, the Allentown area is full of good quality things.
Allentown, okay.
One of my favorite places, a friend of mine, Kevin and Doreen Smith, owned Katie Smith Auctions in Merchant Square. And that's really not a live auction where the auctioneer talks fast. Rather, it's a sealed bid auction, a silent auction. And Kevin and Doreen have about 7,500 items for sale every month, from records, coins, stamps, dolls, furniture, paper prints, firearms, almost anything you think of. And the auction starts the first Thursday of the month and ends the last Saturday of the month. And they've been doing that for 20-some years, so it's a unique approach. There are some good antique shops up there. There's Weir's has a flea market on the weekends, and it's a shop that's open all week. I believe the Black Rose is up there. A lot of good auctioneers up there. Will Hahn has an auction up in Klecknersville. Tom Hall has an auction house up there. I mean, there's just so many auctioneers up in Lehigh Valley. You'll find more auctions up there than you will in Bucks County.
Okay. And any other areas?
Further out west you go, probably the antiques capital of Pennsylvania is Adamstown.
Okay.
Adamstown is next. It's the Lancaster exit off the Turnpike, and it's right there. I believe it's Route 272, and it's just complete. There's a Renninger's shop with several hundred dealers and an outdoor flea market. There's the Black Angus that has several hundred dealers and an outdoor flea market. There's Shupp's Grove, which is all outdoors, and then there's 50 or 60 other smaller shops. So you could spend easily a day and not cover everything in Adamstown.
Coming back to Bucks County, what type of antiques would sell well in our area?
Well, the truth of the matter is antiques aren't as hot as they were in the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
And as a home downsizing specialist, I have to constantly tell my clients that. The younger generation, 30-somethings who are now starting households, don't like the same things that we did and our generation did.
Okay.
And so a lot of the things have softened in prices, but there are certain categories that are very hot today.
For example?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm giving you my top 6 categories. In the
Okay.
descending order, I'm going to let you figure out what number 1 is. Number 6, military is a hot category. I had a client not long ago, she had a fishing tackle box, you know, with the little divided plastic things?
Mm-hmm.
Each section had an Italian World War II medal. She got almost $21,000 for those medals because they sold online and they all went back to Italy. So military is good. Guys like their boy toys, cars, anything related to cars. On TV we have the Barrett Jackson auctions, but then anything petroleum related is called Petroliana.
Okay.
That's collectible. Guys like their boy toys, ladies like their bling. Number 4 is jewelry, gold and silver jewelry. Gold's right around $1,300 right now. Jewelry's about 19, silver's about 19, so that's doing pretty well. Number 3 is the high-end art market. Rich people always have money. They're always looking for places to deposit their things, and the high-end art market's been going up about 5-7% a year. Number 2 is anything gold and silver, especially gold and silver coins. So that's 6 through 2. What do you think the hottest category at auction is today, whether it's Bucks County or anywhere else?
I want to say furniture, but I'm not sure
It begins with an F.
Okay.
Firearms.
Firearms.
Firearms is a hot commodity auction. Firearms have to be sold by an FFL, Federal Firearms Licensee. They have to be sold in a certain manner. But whether you're talking about firearms, handguns, rifles, new or old, ammunition, accessories. Probably, in my opinion, firearm auctions are the hottest commodity today at auction.
Okay. So it's, someone starting out, taking this, leisurely drive on a Sunday and hitting some of the shops along the 202 corridor there. What kinds of things would they encounter? What kind of, antique things would they encounter there?
Everything.
Everything?
It doesn't matter, shop to shop. I mean, some shops specialize in furniture.
Okay.
Stanella Antiques over in Percy has 3 or 4 floors of just nothing more than furniture, and high-end furniture. The Wombolts, who are members of the Bucks County Antique Dealer Association, specialize in jewelry. They're doing a jewelry show every weekend somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Some people collect china. I collect prints. My specialty area is the wall stunning and early 20th century hand-colored photographs. So what you have to do is go into a shop that you like and develop a route. A lot of antiquers develop a route where they stop at certain shops knowing that there's a good chance someone there's going to have what they're looking for.
Okay. So do most of their shops specialize in one particular thing along that corridor there? Or?
Well, part of the beauty of group shops, let's kind of differentiate between an individual shop and a group shop. An individual shop is owned by one person, and whatever that person wants to collect or sell is in there.
Is it kind of like, what they like to collect themselves, and that's what they sell?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Most dealers are collectors who are financing their habits, their collecting habits. Whereas an antique group shop might have 40 different dealers, each having a different specialty. If you walk into the store in Lambertville, one of the first things you see is Dan Warden's silver booth. He specializes in sterling silver, and there's preponderance there.
Yeah. Keith said we have a call.
Do we have a caller?
Yes. I have a question.
Sure.
I have a question about getting digital from
Okay.
I
You
didn't
know
hear
what, we
that.
have to hold on one second, we can, okay, go ahead, I'll relay it. Go ahead.
I have a question about the process to get, I know some dealer.
What, the process of getting things appraised from an antique dealer?
Well, you'll see a lot of antique dealers offering free appraisals. Trust me, no one gives you a free appraisal. Most of these places that offer free appraisals are simply looking for an opportunity to buy it from you at the least amount possible. I don't care if it's a jewelry store that offers free appraisals, whether it's a coin shop that offers free appraisals. People don't give free appraisals. An appraisal is an impartial, honest opinion of value put forth by someone who has no interest in purchasing it from you. So if you go to a hotel where they're offering free appraisals, you get what you deserve, because you know they're trying to pay you as little as they possibly can.
Right.
And these guys are good at looking you in the eye, figuring how little you know. So if you want to be safe, pay someone a few dollars who's not interested in buying it to give you an honest opinion of value.
Okay.
Did you get that?
Yes, I did. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you for
WQR.
calling in.
Keith, when I go into a house, one of the first questions I ask is I look my clients in the eye and I say, do you want to sugarcoat it or do you want it right between the eyes? Because a lot of appraisers give you feel-good numbers that you will never achieve in the marketplace. And most people say, you know what, give it to me right between the eyes. I want an honest opinion of value. That's what we try to do.
Yeah, definitely. And Michael's coming back in a couple weeks to talk to us about, Michael does appraisals for home furniture that people have had, people who may be looking to downsize now, want to sell off a lot of the furniture that they have because it's not going to fit where they're going. So Michael just recently did that for one of my clients. And so Michael, I think it's June 19th, you'll be back talking about that.
I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, great. Talk about how to go about getting prices for that furniture or artwork you have in your house, and then how to go through the process of getting that lined up, either selling it on your own or selling it through an antique auction, and then how to move the furniture also. So Michael does a lot of that. So he'll be back on June 19th talking about those items there. Is there anything else? We have about 2 minutes left that you'd like to share with people as far as the whole process, or anything else about antiquing in Bucks County that we may not have covered already?
Well, I'll wrap with this, Paul.
Okay.
If you like antiques and collectibles, there hasn't been a better time to buy in the last 25 or 30 years because prices are soft. What's happened is people my age, we've gotten older, and we're now downsizing and selling, and there's more merchandise on the market than the market can handle because the
Okay.
younger kids don't want this stuff. So if you like it, this is a great time to buy, but my advice would be buy the best that you can afford. Don't buy something that's chipped, cracked, damaged, blemished. Only buy things in good condition, because those are the things that at least have a shot of going up in value as time passes.
Okay, terrific. Is that another call?
No.
Okay, and it sounds like, you're buying it, maybe possibly buying antiques that you really like, knowing that it may not appreciate in value, but you have the enjoyment of having it. Is that correct?
If it goes up in value, great.
It's a bonus,
Very
right?
few people make a lot of money in the antiques business.
Okay.
And more people spend money, and the value goes down. So, dining room sets are a perfect example. I have clients who say, "Well, Mike, I paid $2,000 for that set." Well, I tell them you're only going to get $500 in today's market, but you've owned it for 30 years, so you've rented it for $50 a year.
Yeah.
And that's the way you've got to look at it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just see a piece, you just want to have it. But, I don't even think about what it's going to be worth down the road, when I'm out there shopping.
I mean, I know value is pretty good. I one time went to an auction, and my wife had her eye on something, and I said, we could probably get it for a couple $100. Well, we got it up to $300, and we were up against another determined bidder. And she said, okay, 400, I said. The other person says 450. I ended up paying $600 for something that was worth $200 or $300, not because I got emotionally wrapped up in it, but my wife wanted it, and we made it work.
I'll probably get in trouble, but we have a Oriental rug in our living room that was bought at auction, and probably paid more than we should have for that.
Bidder's remorse is a very common thing in the auction business.
You get excited about the thing, and now but we enjoy it. That's what matters. It's in our living room, looks real nice against the hardwood floors, and we enjoy it.
The worst thing you can do at auction is hold your number up in the air, because an auctioneer can run off numbers real fast and run you right up. That's the worst thing you can do.
Definitely. Now, Michael, if someone wanted to get in touch with you, how can they do that? Phone number, website?
Best way to reach me is Michael Ivankovich Appraisals, www.michaelivankovichappraisals.com. You can email me at info@michaelivankovich.com, or you simply call my cell phone, 215-264-4304, 215-264-4304. If you get a message, tell me that you saw me on Paul's show, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can.
Okay, definitely. Thanks again for coming
Thanks
out
for having
today.
me. I look forward to seeing you on the 19th.
Yeah, a couple of weeks from now, we'll be getting out again. Next week, we're going to have Holly Soffer, an attorney with Kellison Soffer, on to talk about some of the legal issues involved in the real estate business. And then in 2 weeks, we'll be having a representative talking about the highlights of the Bucks County Playhouse, the past history, what's happening now, and what may be happening in the future with the Bucks County Playhouse, which is a great place to see plays and other shows in Bucks County. It's up in New Hope there. So once again, my name is Paul Rosso with Remax Properties. You can reach me at 215-778-9687. You can follow our show on BucksCountyHomesAndLiving.com. You can follow us on Facebook at Good Life Bucks County, and on Twitter at Bucks County Live. So have a great week, and we'll see you all next week. Thanks for joining us today.